many Christmas traditions that we take for granted each year. Christmas trees, Yule logs, carols, nativity scenes. But did you know that most of these traditions date back to medieval times? And some predate even Christianity? Let's take a look at a few popular traditions that we know and love, starting with the word Christmas. The word Christmas is derived from medieval English, Christus Messe, which was used in 1050 AD, meaning to celebrate the birth of Christ.
Here we come, a wassailing among the leaves so green.
The exact meaning of carol is to sing and dance, and on Christmas Day, carolers would go from house to house singing and dancing, often in a circle. This was banned from churches and deemed inappropriate, so carols were performed outside in the streets. Inside great medieval castles and manor houses, Christmas music was performed by minstrels, while villagers and townsfolk went caroling door to door.
We are not daily beggars.
The wassail song we used to hear on Christmas could be one of the oldest Christmas songs out there. The word wassail is from the Anglo-Saxon was hey, meaning be healthy or be well.
Your wassail too.
Often when caroling or wassailing door to door, people carried an empty wooden bowl in hand in the hopes that someone would fill it since the person carrying it was unable to afford his or her own brew.
Call up the butler of this house, put on his golden ring. Let him bring us a glass of beer, and better we shall sing.
This brew is full of holiday spices such as cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and cloves, and often floating roasted apples called lambswool. Sometimes even toasted bread was placed on top of this hot brew, originating, "May I propose a toast?" After drinking the wassail drink, one would reply, "Drink hell."
Bless the master of this house like...
The Yule log was used by both the Druids and the Vikings in their winter solstice celebrations, and the Yule log represented the coming of a new year. In the Druidic tradition, the log was blessed and burned for 12 days, and then a part of the log was saved to be used to light the next year's Yule log. In the Viking tradition, before burning the log, they carved it with symbols of trades, things, or bad luck that they wished to be burned away in the next year, hopefully removing those things from their lives. When Christianity emerged in Europe, church officials gave the Yule log a new significance, that of the light that came from heaven when Christ was born. The log was lit on Christmas Eve and left burning throughout the 12 days of Christmas. The Christmas tree dates back to pagan traditions as well, though later on, Christian traditions presented as an invention of Martin Luther. The evergreen bow represented eternal life, and it was used by the Romans in the Saturnalia festivals. The actual Christmas tree as we know it didn't come into style until the 18th century, but it was used in Germany as early as the 16th century. And even earlier than that, evergreen bows were part of medieval English Christmas celebrations. Whether Christian or pagan, the evergreen gave vital hope to those celebrating the birth of Christ or awaiting the first sign of the rebirth of spring. The first nativity scene was created at the church of Santa Maria Maggiore in 10th century Rome. The custom became popular at other churches, with each creating increasingly ornate mangers of gold, silver, jewels, and precious stones, making it inaccessible to the poorer masses. In the 13th century, Saint Francis of Assisi arranged the first nativity scene with live animals, the figure of baby Jesus lying in a manger for a crib, surrounded by the Holy Family, the shepherds, and their animals. Saint Francis used this nativity to demonstrate how Christ came into the world in poverty.
Oh, by gosh, by golly, it's time for mistletoe and holly.
Kissing under the mistletoe is also a very medieval tradition. Evergreen boughs were arranged around a square or circular wooden frame with decorations hanging from the branches. A bunch of green mistletoe was hung from the center of the kissing bush. Christmas festivity began with a kiss of friendship under the kissing bush, and each guest must pass under it at least 12 times and kiss the person next to him or her. Later, friends exchanged gifts beneath the kissing bush as a reminder of God's gift of Christ and the presents that 3 kings and 3 shepherds brought baby Jesus in Bethlehem.
It's time for mistletoe and holly.
Here comes Santa Claus right down Santa Claus Lane. He's got a bag that is filled with toys for the boys and girls again. Hear those sleigh bells jingle jangle, what a beautiful sight. Jump in bed, cover up your head, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
Santa Claus is a mysterious and mystical figure that evolved over the centuries into the lovable, jolly elf we recognize today. But if asked if Saint Nick really existed, the answer is yes. He was born in 4th century Greece to a wealthy family, but became orphaned at an early age when his parents died of a plague. Soon, Nicholas was sent to live with his uncle, an abbot in a nearby monastery. A spiritual man, he had the reputation for being a secret gift giver, helping the poor and the sick with money that he inherited from his wealthy parents. Later, he was ordained a priest, and then he became the Bishop of Myra. Though he was never officially canonized, his legend evolved among the faithful throughout time. The relics of Saint Nick can still be found in southern Italy in the town of Bari, where they were brought in 1087, and a basilica was built in his name. The American version of Santa Claus was inspired by the Dutch legend of Sinterklaas, brought to the settlers of New York in the 17th century. Over the centuries, legends from different parts of the world helped create Santa Claus, the timeless, ageless, eternal, white-bearded man who delivers gifts on Christmas to children everywhere. In spite of being obscured by elves, reindeer, North Pole, and Christmas shopping, behind the legend of Saint Nick is a kind and generous man who loved and cared for those in need, especially the children.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Santa Billy Boogie, Santa's getting ready. Santa Billy Boogie, Santa's getting ready. Santa Billy Boogie, Santa's getting ready. Santa Billy Boogie, Santa's getting ready.
I'm 5 minutes from riding it all night long.
Santa Billy Boogie, Santa's getting ready.
Well, I got an owl and a little for you. I'm gonna fill your stockings too. Don't wanna brag, I let it go to my head. I'm gonna fill your stockings too. Don't wanna brag, I let it go to my head. Ain't nobody